Hey, beautifuls. It's a little surprise, but I hope you're well. I just wanted to come on here very quickly today to celebrate a little win. And also just to connect with you all before the weekend comes right around the corner. So if you're watching this live, say hello. And if you're watching this on a replay, I want to hear from you as well. Say hello, say replay. I'm here. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. So I just want to celebrate something that's happening in the vortex, and it is so beautiful to see the transformation that is coming through for some of my clients, private clients themselves, and also clients who are working diligently, chipping away and unveiling their own Siren Goddess self. And one of the things I really want to mention is that, when I work with anybody, in the vortex, as I call it, um, I am very, 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 very deliberate about the energy that I sow and harness inside that vortex. And so, in that space, as you would have probably felt in this collective, it is all very, very, very heart centered. And the intention is sowed with a vibration of having already have it, or having already had it, already having it is already existing here, that you are a goddess, you are who you desire to be, who you really are, your highest self. That is the basis, that's the foundation of everything I do. And so when I see wins, it is something that I really am so grateful for. I do a celebratory dance. I just scream and yeet and sometimes squeal and on my own, not to my clients. But they are on the live session with me. We have an activation ceremony. We meet every week, each month. And I would just be like, yes, hell yes, right? But, today I got the message and I saw that, this beautiful divine client just doing the work and really, 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 really going into the darker parts of herself. It was a little bit of a push, I would never lie. But when she did, it was something that was so beautiful, because ultimately, once you are starting to step into that vortex and you're starting to know that I'm being deeply supported, I'm absolutely being shown the way, through the support of my guidance and also all the transmissions and spiritual support that you're going to get through the work that we do in the vortex, be it in ceremony, in the rituals, in the embodiment practices. I work with tea itself, and this is something I absolutely open up my doors. It's not hidden away at all. I share every single thing I know with my clients that I've done before. I know it works. And Natalie, you're back. Are you still here? I hope you're still here. I miss you so much, darling. How are you? I honestly, I have this habit where I go on live and then I put my phone in front of my screen, so I actually don't really see myself. But I just saw your comment. I love you so much. I hope you're feeling good. I know you've been down for a bit, but you are coming back stronger than ever. I love you so much. I hope you're well, okay? I hope you see this. So, oh my gosh, guys. So I just want to hop on here and celebrate with you guys as well. And I also want you to know that, understanding that, yes, I have some shit that I need to uncover. Yes, I have some subconscious beliefs. Oh, darling, love you too, sister. And understanding you have some subconscious beliefs that you need to unplug from in order for you to expand in the most harmonious and purified way, right? Is one thing. But I just want to put it out there. I want this to be really clear for anyone who wants to, who are even remotely interested in working with me, is that yes, you need to heal. And I say it like this because I truly believe that nobody needs to be healed in the way that you are absolutely whole. You are wholeness defined. You are wholeness embodied. But you have to remember the way home to your wholeness. And so things will come up in your life where it feels like, okay, I need to heal this. But actually what you're doing is that you're firing up and you're wiring up in a way your energy circuit is able to flow more fluidly when you see those parts that are asking you to look at. So what happens when you don't look at it? It becomes bigger and bigger. You're throwing things down into the basement of your subconscious, and it becomes bigger and bigger to the point where you just it ultimately becomes paralyzed. And at some point as well, you don't even hear the help that's coming for you. You don't even hear the advice that is absolutely precious and so useful for you at that point in time. But I always know this, and I learned it the hard way, because when I started doing this work, and I want to be transparent with you, is that I thought I could help every single person out there. And I still know that as a truth. But what I do know now is that there are people who are at different stages of their awakening. And so there are some people who are not quite ready to hear what you have to say, and they get really triggered and they just walk away and they storm away even sometimes. I used to get really heartbroken and angry and upset with myself for doing all of that shit or getting that kind of reaction, to the point where I stopped being helpful. I started doubting if I was even cut out for this work. So if you're in that space where you think that, well, all I want to do is help people, and yet nobody wants to receive my medicine, nobody wants to hear what I have to say. And one of my clients back in a couple of months ago, she joined me, was that same way. And I remember telling her that, oh gosh, darling one, goddess, it is so beautiful what you want to do. Always though, understand this. You have infinite energy, and you always have the choice to decide who you want to work with, who you want to dole out your precious energy. And your wisdom, you must hold so sacred. You don't just give it out to anyone, because it really isn't about scarcity anymore. It's about choosing your battle. Because here's the thing, if you are harnessing your energy itself, you are able to speak even without speaking. They will sense it. They will sense your magnetism. You're the magnet now. You're not attracting in a way where you're chasing. You're just attracting with your peace, with your calm, with your centeredness and your certainty. Natalie, I just saw your beautiful comment. Yes, you do. You absolutely do know something about that. And I think you're such a great teacher yourself, and I think we all need to work in this way. I received quite a number of questions, which I'm going to touch upon as well in today's little bit of a, surprise live. First question is very much about, like, do I actually need a mentor? Like, do I actually need one, right? And I just want to say the answer is no. I will just be really frank with you. If you ask me that question like that, if you do ask me that question, then I would say the answer is no. Because if you are an enlightened person, and you actually understand that you are not meant to be working alone, and you know that you are always here with a beginner's mind, you would always be open to working with a mentor. And you wouldn't ask me that question. Because you understand that in mentorships, and if you don't understand that, I don't want this to be something that comes across as shaming you. It's not at all. What I'm trying to say is, I absolutely was in a place where I thought I could do everything on my own. So I'm no exception to this. I think we've been raised in a way that we think that we need to do things alone, that we need to be self-sufficient, that we need to, put on a smiley face and make sure everyone is taken care of, and don't trouble other people, right? Try to figure it out on your own first before you ask for help, right? Who's with me there? I mean, come on. I must not be the only person here, right? Just give me a yes if that has been your upbringing as well. So I came from an immigrant family. I was born in Malaysia. I am a Chinese descendant. And I think absolutely, we were put through education after education. I had tuition, I had extra tutors outside of the classes that I went to in the ordinary school days. I absolutely had a lot of assistance. And, I never saw it that way until I actually got out of university, because in university, it seemed like everyone had their own thing, and everyone was just doing their own thing, and asking for assistance seemed like something that was so secretive and hidden away. And I think, oh, Elizabeth, it's been so long. How are you? Another one that I haven't seen in a while. Yes, Elizabeth. Elizabeth says, I think everyone needs a mentor. We need support and someone to lean on. It makes us stronger. And Natalie says, an aligned mentor will accelerate your awakening process within a safe and loving vortex. But it's true, you can experience Yes, I love that. Okay, very good. Very good, Natalie. You brought up a great point. Absolutely. You can experience ascension on your own. Absolutely. 100%. I always say this as well, you can absolutely do it on your own. I have no doubt about it. Especially as a woman, you are fucking resourceful. You know what to do. You know where to look to get shit done, right? If you really want it, you will find what you need to do it. Whether it's on YouTube or free resources or somewhere, whatever it is that calls out to you, right? I love you. I miss you too, Elizabeth. But here's the thing, and to add on what Elizabeth said, I would say, yes, these mentors are great to lean on, but for me, I feel like mentors actually expands me. That is what I keep in mind myself as a mentor, is that I want to expand what my clients think is even possible. Like, that is why I keep working with mentors, because they show me things that I never thought was possible. They tell me I can be something, and I can actually sit with it and be like, oh, wow, I actually have that potential in me. And I work with mentors who don't dictate to me how I should be. They tell me, and I've been with mentors who definitely have dictated to me what I should be. Okay, I will be 100% transparent. And I had a long journey going through all of these shit and this experience myself, but these are good, fertile shit. Because they made me who I am today. I realized what worked and didn't work. And that is how I put together a program that I call the Siren Goddess for my clients. And I sincerely hope that I can be that mentor for them that really expands their idea of who they can be. So going back to the ascension. Yes, you can experience ascension because on your own, to be honest, every human being, you are absolutely a cosmic being. You're a cosmic being, pure light that came into this experience. And this body is designed by you to experience your human experience, okay? This is where I stand. And I know this deeply from my own visions and from really just connecting with that, that beautiful, beautiful idea of being pure light. It really puts me in touch and taps me into this infinite source energy. And so if you just float in that energy for now, just allow yourself to float in the energy of infinite source and as a cosmic light being, okay? You are always expanding because you are made of the same thing as the universe, and you are always expanding, right? As you can see my hand, you're expanding, you're expanding, you're expanding, you're expanding, right? If you observe my hand, you're always getting bigger. But at every point when you expand, there is a moment where you need to anchor in that position, right? Expand, 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 right? So in the same way as a human being, I always say this, it's the core foundation of the Siren Goddess, is that I know all of the women who come to work with me, and all of you here watching even, you are immensely, immensely gifted. You are immensely psychic. You are immensely intuitive even. And you might not even know that. You just call yourself sensitive, right? I hate seeing you flounder because you cannot anchor into the frequency of being here on Earth, being here in this dimension as a multidimensional being. Being in the receptive, being in the yin is what you fear. Because yang energy is spirit. And it's a divine energy, right? It's so limitless. And I think what I can really observe, even from my own experience, is that there is a fear of gravity. The fear of coming down. And when I say coming down, I also include manifestations, like how does your life, your reality reflect back to you, your inner space? Because what you're seeing now in your world, if you're drawn to chaos, if you're drawn to things that are not your problem, but you're carrying that energy, that is a reflection of what's going on internally. In fact, it is a reflection of some of the cycles that you go on to just run away from the things that you really need to feel. And that is very common, and it's nothing to be shameful of. It's something we've been raised to do. And I want you to become aware of that, because then you will understand you are giving away so much of your energy to something else that is not even serving you. And coming back to the question, do I need a mentor? I would say no, but I would love to have a mentor, and therefore I work with mentors because they bring me back and they expand me, right? There are some beautiful non-verbal transmissions that come from my Zen masters, my tea masters, in a way that I would never find in books. And when I started to journey on the Taoist alchemical healing medicine, so much of that were burned and lost in the times gone by, because so many people in the patriarchal system feared that. They feared the yin energy of coming into alchemy. And when we talk about alchemy, it's really about how can we transmute the lead into gold. And the lead in this sense is the rejected parts, the broken parts, the trauma, the sufferings that took you from where you were to where you are now, perhaps listening to me. Because it's so easy to say this, and I don't want to put the responsibility on the patriarchal system any longer. I'm here speaking because I decided that I would do what I need to do anyway, despite the circumstances that's happening around me. So the world is pretty fucked up, right? I mean, exchange rates are going up, jobs are lost, oh gosh, inflation, oh my gosh, oh god, like there's a trial by fire by some celebrities, oh my gosh, on and on and on, right? But I make the sacred decision, and I tell this to my clients every day if I can. I know I'm quite naggy, but I'll try to hold myself back. Do not allow the circumstances to dictate who you are and how you show up. Do not allow circumstances to dictate what your soul purpose is, because ultimately your soul purpose, your dharma, your Tao, all the same thing, by the way, they are constant. They never change despite anything that's happening around you. And here's the fun part. Your circumstances are actually influenced by you. It's like putting a DNA into a tube that's completely cleaned out, and you start to see that the DNA changes the environment that it is in, and the environment changes the DNA as well. So it's a twofold thing. It's like yin and yang. In yang there's yin, in yin there's yang. People don't actually realize that. Actually, I don't know how many of you actually realize that. There is yin and yang, and there is yang and yin. Actually, Elizabeth would know that because she's an acupuncturist and she's amazing at that. So it's so important for me to kind of riff on that, because, asking questions that are very linear is a beautiful way to start to open yourself up to so many things. There's no right or wrong. I just really want you to understand this. You all want to do amazing work out there. You want to live on purpose. You want to be fully aligned to your unstoppable vision. You want to build sacred temples. You want to do this and you want to do that. You want to hold space. You want to change the world. You want to create change for humanity and Mother Gaia. I hear so many of these beautiful things. Beautiful. And it's absolutely available for you. But you gotta start somewhere. You gotta start somewhere. And it has to be something that feels fucking scary, right? Usually it also feels really imperfect. And that was how I started. And I'm still doing it imperfectly because today I'm saying this, I'm open to be like really wrong. That's the reality of what I do. And I'm very, very honest about this because, you know, I don't want to be put on a pedestal. I don't want to be telling you what to do. I want to be telling you to listen to your heart. I want to teach you how to listen to your heart. I want to teach you how to listen to yourself, highest self, because you are ultimately a soul, right? You're a soul, and that voice you hear in you that feels like a scared little fearful, like, oh my God, are you really gonna make me feel like this? Are you really? I just don't feel like I'm like I'm not made for this. That all of that, it's really your soul whispering. It's like, let me out. I am you. I am you. Stop holding back. Stop letting your circumstance and your past hold you back. And that takes really one decision. One decision. That is to make that choice. To say, yes, I am the soul. I am the creatrix of my life. Okay, what am I going to do next now? How am I going to get to where I need to be? And then you take that one step, and then another, and then another. And that's it. That is it. And another question I'm just going to answer really quickly is, what is the whole point of digging into the rejected parts? That's the question I got here. What is the whole point of digging into the rejected parts? Come on, girl. That's like, I'm just like, again, if you're asking me that question, I would ask you a question back, which is, how happy are you feeling not looking at those rejected parts of yourself? Do you feel good? Like, what is costing you running away from the rejected parts of yourself? Because ultimately, we are one. We are our, whatever that is us, is all here. And when we run away or we push aside or sidestep any rejected parts of ourselves, it gets really, really tiring. First and foremost, you feel really tired because it's almost like there is like a constriction around who you really are, and you get really scared of what other people think of you. I've been there myself. I've absolutely been there myself. And oh gosh, like, always seeking for validation of whether I'm doing things right was pretty much the narrative of my entire life until the point where I was like, I'm done. I'm so done with this. I can't live like this. And I think sometimes it has to get to that point for you to realize that that cannot be my reality anymore. Right? But what if it doesn't have to be? What if it doesn't have to be a rejection? Something is bad something is bad because we see it as bad. It is like you're wearing lenses until you realize that, oh my gosh, I'm actually wearing lenses. Because if you're wearing lenses and you're looking at the world through those lenses, you probably didn't even realize you were doing that until somebody pointed that out to you. And that is one of the things about having a mentor, again, because it helps you to accelerate the process. It helps you to awaken in a way that, you probably never would have, to be honest. Or you would have, but it would have taken a longer time. Right? And it is so interesting sometimes just talking about, things like that, because it's kind of like a cancel culture that we see in our reality right now. We cancel ourselves all the time. We cancel our thoughts, and thoughts are powerful. Thoughts are energy. Thoughts have 100% an ability to influence how you feel. And when you feel it, and you attach a story to that, it becomes your emotion. That emotion needs to be transmuted. And that is what I teach in the Siren Goddess. I teach you how to work with your raw energy so that you transmute that pain into purpose. And then from there, take the actions that you need to go forward. Because without the action, you're gonna be always in the space of thinking you are never done. And you're getting ready to be ready. Getting ready to be ready. Getting ready to be ready. And you're never out there. You're never out there. Like, I can't tell you, like, honestly, some of you beautiful beings here with me here, you would know this. Like, how many times have we metamorphosized our business? You know, I started as a tea ceremony keeper, let's just put it that way. I don't like to call myself a tea ceremonialist. And if you're new here, that's simply because I am, I have a teacher who said to me, you can only pretty much call yourself a tea ceremonialist when you're dead. So, so I kind of moved in that lineage in a way where I know that it felt right to me. Some people still do call themselves a tea ceremonialist. It's absolutely fine. It's cool. It's just me. So I started serving tea, and then in a way talk about tea and plant medicine and what it does to everyone. And in that space, I was actually not charging, undercharging, and then just really, really feeling like an imposter because I felt like who the fuck I was to even do this, right? And then I moved into a space where I began to work with mentors. I began to feel things coming up that I couldn't make sense of. And that's why when I worked with those mentors, one of them was a shamanic tea master. And then another one was a tea master himself that I met back home. And then there was another beautiful woman who taught me energy. It's like so many other women out there who have come and assist me in this space that I call my sisterhood as well, that all this energy started to constellate. And that is my alchemy. My alchemy happened in that way because I had to break apart completely. I had to become nothing to become a new me again. And this is the new me you're seeing. But does that mean my journey has ended? No, fuck no. There will come a time when I have to break apart all over again. But this time I know what's going on. I know, okay, right. It's scary, it's painful, but it's gonna happen. And I had that quite recently, actually, at the beginning of June. And I show up here again and again and again. I keep showing up anyway. Even when I'm hurting, even when I'm angry, even when, even when I'm sad. I show the fuck up because my soul purpose is consistent. My Tao is consistent. I know I'm here to be in service. I know I'm here to work with beautiful women, beautiful souls who are so creative, and they need to land, they need to anchor, and they need to live on purpose in their own authentic power. So how can I do this? So I keep showing up, showing up, showing up anyway. I'm a different person every single time I'm here. Let's just put it that way. Because I'm always evolving, I'm always expanding, okay? And so are you. So are you. So my divine one, I'm just gonna ask you this question, like, what are you here to do today? What is your Tao? What is your Tao? And what do you need to release in order to step into that Tao? Yeah? Okay, darling ones, I send you so much love. I love speaking with all of you. It's such a pleasure to hold space for anyone who listens. And if this helps you in any way, I'm so glad. Please leave a comment if you want to share. If not, all good. Or DM me if you want to. And if you're ready to do the work and you want to explore how you can work with me, book a free sacred transformation call and let's get on it. Okay? Divine One, I'll speak to you very soon. Bye bye.